such a dumb idiot. Twilight weather. If you know my lore, then you know that I was a college dropout, but before I dropped out, I was an art history major because I love art. So I've been passing this in Hobby Lobby for a year now, and I finally bought it so that we can make a dress out of the Last Supper. It's so cool. I mean, look at that. It's literally, I hate when he scratches my door. It's literally the Last Supper on fabric. I bought one panel, it was only like $6. So we're gonna make a dress. I have an inspiration in my head of a bodice out of this and then just some tulle as the skirt and sleeves. I don't really know. We're kind of figuring it out as we go. The issue is gonna be just to get seams to line up and stuff, but I'm hoping it'll be a nice quick project because there's a big project that I want to start, but I just can't start it yet. So I'm doing this in the meantime and I'm hoping to finish it in a couple days. My first task is cutting it out. I have this pattern and I had no idea where it was from. And it was determined that it's from my Dua Lipa dress from a few years ago. I don't think I ever made a video on that. And I'm missing one of the pieces, so I'm kind of just guessing what it was supposed to look like, because I kind of want this to be like stays where there's not any seam lines like around here, because I don't want to disrupt the artwork. So I'm gonna cut it out, see what happens. If I need to, I can get more, but hopefully I won't need to go get more. I'm really excited. And I read the Da Vinci Code, and you learn, I mean, I don't know exactly how accurate everything is in that book, but you learn a lot about this painting, and it's very interesting. Oh, I did a mock-up too. Can you believe that? So let me try cutting this out. Such a dumb idiot. I already messed up the cutting. I don't know why I folded it and thought it would be fine. I totally mixed up the freaking painting. I didn't even think it through my head. So it's Sunday. Hobby Lobby's not open on Sundays. So we're gonna have to wait till tomorrow to finish this. Oh well, I'm actually very annoyed. Why did I do that? I think I'm gonna sew the pieces together anyway though, to see if I like how it looks, even though they're all mismatched. I'm now able to resume. I actually picked up stuff for my next project, and I picked up a new panel of The Last Supper, and I picked up new grommets. I bought out all of the ones they had. I always use these flower ones from Michael's because for some reason you get double the amount of the other sets and they're cheaper. Actually, they've raised the price, I noticed. They were $8.99 and they've always been $6.99. But I bought 3 packs of these. I wish they came in silver also, but the gold works. And may I just say, I know I shouldn't, but nothing is worse than when you're trying to get fabric and they just question you about what you're making. And it's hard to explain, like not everybody's making the kind of stuff I do. Like no one else is making a Last Supper dress. And so I'm like checking out, and the lady's interrogating me about what I'm making. She's asking me if I'm doing a wall hanging, and I was like, oh no, I'm actually making a dress. I thought it would end at that, but she just kept asking questions. And I'm not rude, okay? Don't think I'm rude, but I just like, I don't want to have to explain what I'm doing to you. And so I was like, oh, just a dress. And she was asking a dress for you, a dress for someone else. And I was like, oh, I make them and I sell them. And then she couldn't figure out, she was asking me how I would be making a dress with the Last Supper, if it was the skirt. And I was like, no, this is actually for the bodice. And then she looked confused. So I pulled up a picture and I showed her my failed attempt. But it's just like hard to explain what I'm doing. And so I should have just said, yes, I'm doing a wall hanging, but I didn't. Anyway, I gotta recut out that fabric, and this time I'm not messing up. I'm not gonna be an idiot. I'm gonna take my time. And I also changed the pattern. I wanted it to be off the shoulders, so I did do that change. I did a mock-up yesterday, and it worked really good. Alrighty, I cut it out. It looks way better than the last one. And I sewed the pieces together and backed it with some white duck cloth. I'm also using the same duck cloth for the inner layer with the boning, but I wanted it on the outer layer too. So now what I'm gonna do is on all of the seams on this, and I do need to iron it also. I'm gonna cover it in some sort of trim so you can't really see the jumps where some of the painting got cut off into the seam allowance. It'll just smooth it out a little, and honestly, I have so much trim to spare. I basically laid them on top of each other, sewed along here, flipped it right side out. I'm working on adding some boning, and I want something up here on this neckline. I have this rope stuff. Oh, hopefully that's not too loud, the music. I'm gonna put it back here. Alrighty, we're gonna try it on. And I'm actually attaching the skirt to it, so I'm not binding the edge, but I think I'm gonna put some grommets in so that I can actually try it on. And I'm gonna do some puff sleeves, but not today. Today, my last thing I wanna do is put the grommets on, but it is fully boned. And it's kind of, I think I already mentioned, it's kind of like a pair of stays, because there's like no seam at all here. The first seam is in this side, and so this is like, it's rigid, it's fully boned, partially boned. I did every other channel just to save material. It's a little big on me, but that's fine. A few months ago, I thrifted this curtain from Goodwill. I think it was only $6, and it's actually a really nice fabric. It kind of is like crinkled, it's gold, and there's a good amount of it, maybe like 2 yards. So I'm using it for the sleeves, and then the rest of it, I'm gonna do a skirt. I think I'm just gonna do a boring skirt though, because I want this to be, you know, the highlight. But I'm gonna focus on the sleeves right now. So I cut off a little bit of the gold. I might need more. And I just wanna do a really nice, cute little puffed sleeve. So I think for the sleeve, it'll be a gathered rectangle, and we'll just stick it in the armhole. Finished basically all of this up. I might do some details, I don't know. But I'm gonna do the skirt today. We're almost done. And here in Washington, we've just hit this week what my sister and I were just calling a few minutes ago twilight weather. It's very twilight outside right now, which is depressing because it's only August. So I am listening to my Twilight playlist because it makes me feel a little bit better. At least I'm in Washington. So this is where we're looking. Do you see this beautiful sleeve? Now I've got to do the skirt. I think I'm just gonna do a pleated skirt with a nice slit. Let's figure it out together. Also, I'd like to touch on something really quick. Somebody said they thought that this was very irreverent. I do not agree. It's one of the most famous paintings in the world. I don't think it's irreverent to use the Last Supper as a bodice, and I'm not defiling it. I'm literally not doing anything. It's fabric, so I'm sorry if you feel that way, but I personally don't. I've run into some issues just with figuring out how to pleat the skirt with a pointed bodice. I have it pinned on. Oh my gosh, my neighbors always have screaming kids. Those kids are always screaming and I can hear it in here. It's not my business. It's literally like low-key fine. I need to sew up that slit because that's a little immodest. The issue arises in this area. It sticks out a little. There's just really not much you could do about it. We might just be rocking with it like this. Actually, you know what? I just had this all pinned and then I remembered I wanted to add this rope stuff in it, so gotta unpin it. Ouch. I'm trying to do some more behind the scenes clips or like sewing clips or up close clips. I don't know if that's interesting to people, but I'm like trying to figure out what to do with my stupid channel because this month I've been getting negative subscribers. And I'm not saying that like it's all about followers and stuff, but I mean it kind of is just because it's how I make money. And so I don't know what's going wrong. I've never been negative subscribers ever in the 5 years I've been doing this. So it's kind of weird, a little disappointing, but I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing. Let me know if you have any suggestions about that. It's a little bit of a bummer. Hi! I'm a little worried or about to do a reveal and see how it worked. Putting in this piping situation. It was not easy sewing this. And I'm a little anxious to see how it looks. It's gonna be a lot to clean this up too. We're gonna have to bind it. But here, you guys can see it before me. Ready for a reveal? Oh! Yo, that worked pretty good! Look! That's really nice. Okay, work! Speaking of work, I'm in my Hamilton obsession. I grew up a theater kid. I was in like 20 shows, but I was always against Hamilton. Everybody I grew up with loved it, and so I was like, no, that's so stupid, and I've never even listened to it. And then when Hamilton was trending on TikTok, obviously I know some of the songs just because they're so popular, but I was like, I should listen to it. I listened to it, and it's been on my mind nonstop. If I'm not careful, Hamilton's gonna be my top artist on Spotify this year, and I watched it on Disney Plus, and I just listened to it all day long now. I'm so obsessed. So saying word made me think about that. But anyway, that looks really nice, actually. I'm super proud of that. It's hard to get right up next to the piping since it's so thick. Like you can see right here, it's not totally connected, but when it's hanging down, you can't really see it. So I might just put like another trim on there or something, so that I don't have to fix it, probably. But I'm gonna add the zipper into this. Actually, no, first I'm gonna bind the inside, and then we can add a zipper to it, and then it'll mostly be done. I do need to iron it. It got snagged a bit right here. And then we can decorate it, but I also kind of want to leave it simple.